1 year ago, an event occurred that opened a conversation all across the country and has been needed for a long time. With the constant flow of news and one big event after another, it's easy to forget something, even if that happened in the recent past, and if what happened was big news at the time. As the left-wing media machine has begun its push for Pride Month, many have noticed that it's a little more muted this year in comparison to the last few years. That's because this year is the first anniversary of an event that really opened a discussion, where millions across the country and around the world began to express their frustration and the sorrow they felt at the efforts of radical activists to use sex as a political tool to silence those who would stand up for children who are being pressured to allow healthy body parts to be amputated or cross-sex hormones to be prescribed that can cause irreparable damage to their bodies. In April of last year, the, at the time, #1 best-selling beer brand in America was Bud Light. But they partnered with a transgender activist by the name of Dylan Mulvaney. Mulvaney was famous at the time for being a biological male who claimed to be a female and posed as a rather infantile young girl. Bud Light had just hired a new marketing team who declared that they were going to, here's what they said, evolve a new marketing strategy. And so they declared that they wanted to make their brand more inclusive and do away with what they declared to be a fratty image. But the left-wing moralizing was so extreme that people simply stopped buying Bud Light and their market shares began to drop. By the end of the year, Bud Light dropped from being the #1 best-selling beer brand in America, and their parent company lost $1.4 billion in sales. Shortly afterward, in honor of Pride Month, the megastore Target rolled out products that, even in a world where it's hard to shock the public, they managed to become the talk of the entire country. With products like tuck-friendly swimsuits, you can look that up for yourself, and messages like Satan respects pronouns, among many other things, people became so tired of left-wing moralizing that they simply stopped shopping there. While the S&P 500 stayed stable, Target lost $9.3 billion in market value in 1 week. By June 9th of last year, that number had hit a loss of $15 billion. But last year was also a year of contrast. Last year, the world came to know the name of Riley Gaines, an NCAA champion swimmer who had worked so hard and competed at the highest levels of sports, but she had to testify to Congress that she lost a trophy to a male who chose to compete in the women's division. Last year, the world came to know Chloe Cole. This is a young lady who wept as she recounted the damage that had happened to her body because of transgender ideology. She shared with Congress how some within the medical community placed tremendous pressure on young girls and their parents to undergo radical surgical procedures and leave a lifetime of pain and disfigurement in their wake. Lastly, 2023 also showed a contrast. While some were infantilizing women, the rest of the world stopped to mourn the loss of a truly great woman of honor with the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Her dignity and her gravitas showed the world a person who we could be truly proud of. This month, I encourage you to stand up to the leftward pressure and speak into the lives of your family and your friends all across Wyoming who know that what they have been hearing from the left is wrong, but don't know where to turn. Let them know that they have been created with a purpose and that they matter just the way they were made. Here at Wyoming Family Alliance, we will stand alongside you and help you make those difficult conversations a little easier. Thank you so much for joining us.